Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Advanced Level. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Felipe Parada, and with me, as always, Oscar Portillo. Oscar, how's it going?
I'm good. What's up, Felipe? How are you?
How was your trip?
It was good. Hot. Uh,
Hotter than Jersey?
yeah, it's just humid.
Now you were down in Florida, right?
Yeah, for
And
a week.
how humid was it down there?
And I don't know how else to describe it to you. Just it get a lot of swamp ass,
Oh God.
and that's
Oh,
not pleasant at all.
I could only imagine.
You don't want to imagine.
But the thing is, right? Especially when you're dealing with heat, or when you're dealing with anything that sort of gets you kind of upset, kind of stressed out a little bit,
Yeah,
which kind of leads us into our current topic, which is backlogs,
correct.
right? The backlog blues, as what I call it, right? But the thing is that right now, right, we're in what, August? We're in the beginning of August,
Little, yeah.
sort of beginning middle of August, right? We're slowly starting to get out of that sort of dry, those dry months that we had where there were barely any games that were coming out.
The June, July, August are kind of slow.
Yeah, they were kind of
Most
slow.
most of the time.
Which it's good because then it gives you the opportunity to go back to your backlog and kind of, pick out which games you want to progress a little bit in, little by little, to the point where it kind of becomes in somewhat of an art form.
I would agree with that.
But the thing is, right, especially when it comes to backlog, it does get a little stressful because you don't know what you want to play. There's so many games that you want to play. You don't know where to begin. You forget where you left off. You even forget how to play the game itself,
That's a
right?
good point.
You going back into the game, and it's like, oh crap, how the hell do completely forgot how to play this game? So you need to relearn the game, and sometimes, I know I'm guilty of this. Sometimes having to go back, especially with first-person shooters, having to relearn the game, the button loadouts, and getting that timing back. Sometimes it kind of puts you off getting back into certain games.
That's true. I mean, if you forget what especially in the middle of a game and you stop playing for some reason. I did this with Tomb Raider. I just stopped playing. I don't know why, and then I came back to it and I was like, I have no idea what to do here.
I'm kind of embarrassed to even go through it, but I've kind of did an assessment, personal assessment, of all the games that I have listed in my backlog, and it's kind of embarrassing. Not embarrassing, but there's certain games that are on this list that should have been done a long time ago. And I'll just give you a couple. I'll just read off a couple. Batman Arkham Knight, Darksiders 2.
Let's go ahead.
If you want to throw in some comments, go right ahead. Dying Light, the following. Horizon Zero Dawn, The Frozen Wilds, which is the DLC. Mad Max.
Wait, didn't you finish that?
No, I haven't. You finished it, but I have not finished it yet. And I'm putting this one on the list because I know I'm going to start it and I'm just not going to finish it. Mafia 3.
Well, that just came out, right?
Yeah, that literally just came out. What are we, Tuesday? Yeah, it literally came out today.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was free to play on. Not free to play, free as
No,
part
the
of
PlayStation Plus.
PlayStation Plus, right? It came out today. I'm downloading it. I know I'm going to start that game, and I'm not going to finish it. And I've been dying to play this game. Metal Gear Survive, which kind of has
Wait.
which kind of has an ending, but I don't see myself ever getting to it. Right?
What's the ending?
Well, I know you're never going to play it, but
Did you tell me?
the game does involve time travel and different dimensions and stuff, and the goal of the game is for you to get back to your time period. That's the whole premise. Now, am I ever going to get back home? Probably not, because the game is just, that's a different topic for a different show. Even though I'm heavily into it right now, No Man's Sky, I still haven't reached the center of the galaxy yet.
Is that the end? Is that the end?
That's technically the end. It literally tells you to go to the center of the galaxy. I haven't gotten there yet. How long is it going to take me? I don't know. Shadow of Mordor, Uncharted 4, Until Dawn, Warframe, and, which I am so disappointed that I haven't finished this game, The Witcher 3.
How far, did you even start it?
Yeah, I'm about 20 hours in. But the thing is with The Witcher, right? And this is another reason why the whole backlog thing, my backlog just keep increasing, right? When you get into The Witcher 3, this is not a game that you can say, yeah, you know what? Let me do one quest. Let's say while my wife is waiting, she's getting ready to go out, she's putting clothes on my son. Yeah, let me play one mission.
No.
No. No. Like you'll play it and then you'll hear like somebody in the background say 3 hours later and you're still playing that one mission. Because the way that game is designed, the side missions are designed exactly like the main quest missions. To the point where you can't decipher which one's which I think is like I said, amazing gameplay design. So going into that game, The Witcher 3, for you to sit down, you have to have time available. You can't just sit down and say, "Yeah, let me just pick it up real quick." No, that's not
Right.
happening. You need and another thing with Fallout. When I couldn't finish Fallout 3 because Fallout 3 was such a large game. I just couldn't
Yeah. It just
find.
takes too much time.
It just takes too much time. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but for individuals like us, who were adults, we have adult responsibilities. I'm a parent.
Right.
It just those type of games just don't fit into our backlog. You know, and I really one of the big problems, right? We're having so many more games come out and so many good games, but we just don't have the time for
Yeah.
them. We just don't have the time, right?
And just recently, a couple weeks ago, Sony always has a sale.
Oh my God.
So
Like
you always want to pick something up.
and I'm very glad that you brought that up because even between I'll admit, PlayStation Store has really stepped up their game when it comes to sales. I'm talking like borderline like Steam, because like the reason why I didn't get it to Steam is because I had a coworker who has Steam, and he put it the best way he said he can put it is Steam is like that Coke dealer. He's always, hey, I got this stuff right here. He's always pushing stuff like, yo, I got this game, $2.99, baby, $2.99. And knowing very well that you're not going to play it, $2.99. Why not pick it up?
How can you pass that up?
How can you not pick up a game that's 4-5 months old for well, $2.99 is an exaggeration, but the point is there. And he's like, "Hey, $2.99. Hey, I got this game for $5. Three
How can you pass that
3
up?
months old, and then next thing you know, you're $20 in, 4, 5, or 6 games that you're never gonna have time to play." And I feel like the PlayStation Store is getting to that point because I've
It's
seen
been stepping up lately. It's been stepping up.
my man is dangerous. I've been sitting there in my couch. I'm like, I can't be in the store because I see little game and they're indie games.
Right.
A couple indie games here and there. Like there was one, I think Bastion was like $2.49 or $3.49, and I know you played that game, and
I
I've
love
known other people who have played that game. But then as I'm about to hit add to cart, I'm sitting back and I'm like, am I
I
really
highly
gonna have?
recommend it.
I know, but I think to myself, am I really gonna have time to play this game the way it should be played? No, I'm not, and I'm being
I know,
100%
but
honest.
that's one of those. I'm going to tell you, that's one of those games that you should make time.
Oh, God, see,
And in my opinion,
and that's the thing. There are games that deserve the time. Like Journey was a game that deserved time, right? And I really wish more games would go down that route where they kind of give you like a very, very impactful game, but like little bits and pieces. Because don't get me wrong, like a game like Metal Gear Solid, The Witcher, like these really big open world games, you're getting your money's worth. Oh, don't get me wrong as far as content.
yeah.
You're getting your money's worth, but now it's just the whole time, right? The time's just not there. The content is there, right? But it's just the time. And that's the difficulty that I'm finding now. My backlog is, oof, I just read you my list. It's big, and I could very.
I got. Let me go through my list.
I want to hear your list.
And I'll tell a little story. Observer.
Okay.
I started that game. Another one. I guess I'm notorious for this. I start the game, and I'll stop playing.
Yeah, I noticed that. Like you'll tell me stories that you'll start games, and for some strange reason you'll just stop for no
I played
apparent
the
reason.
first area, and then I just stopped playing.
Hmm.
Beyond Two Souls.
Oh, you know what? As much as I respect David Cage and he has sort of a niche thing, I don't see myself finishing Beyond Two Souls.
I agree with that. I got bored of it
Yeah,
after a
I
while.
got bored of it too.
I'm good with it.
I was gonna put that on the list, but I thought to myself, I don't see myself finishing that game, so I'm just gonna leave it off.
I do like it. I can see myself going back,
Right,
but it would have to be like I'm in the mood for that.
right.
Little Nightmares.
I thought you finished
Um,
that.
Oh,
Huh.
I got far in it,
Oh, okay. All right.
and again, just Firewatch. Now, here's the funny thing about Firewatch. I was gonna finish it,
Listen, we always tell ourselves that.
and the game bugged. The game bugged out on me,
What did it?
and it won't load the save file.
Oh, so how far were you in?
I asked my friend that he finished it. He said I was pretty much at the end,
Oh no. Oh, dude.
and so I don't know what happens.
So are you gonna have to start the game from scratch?
Yeah,
Oh, that's the worst, man.
they released a patch after the fact, but they said there's no way to save your game
Oh,
because
that's.
I guess that this has been an ongoing issue with that.
Oh man, that's gotta suck.
Rise of the Tomb Raider. I mentioned that earlier.
Yes, you did mention that earlier.
Deus Ex Mankind Divided.
Oh, that's actually another one that I haven't that I need to put on my list.
I played the I played the first section and I just stopped.
I
I
actually
did
added
think
to my
that
list right
game
now.
is like way too much. I think that's the
It
game
is,
that
it is. But it's like I said, it's a beautiful game though. It is such a great game, and it's a shame what Square Enix kind of did with that franchise, and
Yeah.
how they kind of spliced everything up. But that's another game. I see myself finishing that game, but I'll definitely go back to that one. But like you said, it's so big.
Resident Evil 7.
Okay.
I got maybe halfway, and again, there's just no reason. I just
Now, and maybe by me asking you this question, I'll be able to discover something about myself. But why is it that when you start a game, right, you just stop? Because
I don't know.
I've been guilty of this too, where I'll be in a game and the game's good. I'm really getting into the game, and for some unknown reason, I'll just stop. And that happened with me with Dying Light, the enhanced edition, whatever it's called, the one with all the DLC. An amazing zombie game, open world zombie game. I highly recommend it. I just stopped playing it for some strange reason. I went back to it like a couple months ago, and I'm thinking to myself, why did I stop playing this game? This game is so good. And I still can't figure out why I do that to myself. I'll start playing the game, and I did it with Horizon Zero Dawn, the DLC. Another amazing game.
Hmm.
I was getting to the point where...
Well, I thought you finished that.
No, I finished the main game.
Okay,
I
not the
didn't
DLC.
not the DLC. And I was getting to a part where it was really getting good. And I just got up and stopped. I'm like, what? Maybe it's because I don't want to finish it because it's so good.
Well, I think I have the sickness of Overwatch,
But listen,
and
listen,
I always go back to Overwatch,
listen.
and then I
In,
kind of forget about everything else.
in Overwatch's defense, that is a sickness that is allowed. Because I am severely disappointed in myself that I haven't gotten that game to this point. And I'm kicking myself in the butt because I think it was when they released, was it the Game of the Year edition? Or when we had the free weekend.
Yeah,
Right,
but I remember a
They
few months ago.
they were pushing, I forgot which edition it was. And the regular edition was $20. And I'm thinking to
Is that
myself,
serious? I don't
no,
even remember
I
that.
was serious. Not the, I forgot which edition it was, but it was pretty much the
The
base,
regular-
the
the
regular
normal
one,
one.
the normal one
Okay.
without any of the extra skins. It was $20, and I'm like, yep, now's the time I'm gonna
I
get
think
it.
I told you. I think I told you this because I was kind of pushing with the
No. And the thing is that when we've played Overwatch, oh my God, it is such an. I don't know how they managed to design it, but it's so simple. It's such a simple design. And
but
they,
it's one of those things where it's simple, but
what is it?
what's the term?
Yeah, it's easy to pick up but hard to master.
Exactly. Thank you.
You know, and I am gonna pick up that game, and I will reach whatever rank you're up to now because I think you're what? You're close to Evo level, right?
Yeah.
You know, you're up, no, you're up there. Don't even play that because you're up there.
It's just a lot of grinding. That's all.
But see, that's a game that's worth grinding. I think, in my opinion.
Some people, they have their own things.
But that's another game that you could literally pick up and play till the cows come home. You know?
Yeah, I think that's my problem. I have that one game that I always go back to.
See, but that's the thing. Even I have the go-to game. My go-to game has always been Metal Gear Solid 5. I still play that game.
This day.
Yeah, and another game.
How many hours do you? Come on, get out of here. How many hours do you have?
I haven't checked, but I do have. Now that I think of it, I think No Man's Sky might have toppled that because in No Man's Sky, I checked it yesterday, and I have 176 hours logged into that game.
I mean,
your lack of your lack of speech says it all.
So you think No Man's Sky has beaten that, beaten your Metal Gear Solid?
Oh yeah, because the last time I checked, this was a couple of months ago, before Metal Gear Solid toppled Diablo 3. Oh, I was heavily into Diablo 3 too. Paragon level 1159, and I'm proud of that Paragon score. But then when I checked Metal Gear, I was 75 hours into.
That's another game on my list that I got pretty far in that game, and I just.
How far did you get?
I got to Africa. I never did some missions in Africa. I don't know how far that is, but I feel like I got pretty far.
I'm still that is a game that is just a shame what happened. You know, but you know, I digress. I'm not going to get into it. Yeah, because that one, and as you can, I don't know if you can tell in my voice, but I'm getting there. Like it's really.
And that's a topic for another day.
Exactly. So I've always meant to ask you. You have Skyrim, right?
Yeah, bought it on sale Black Friday.
Did you touch it or no?
Yeah, I played a good couple hours, but again, that game is one of those games where you can get lost in it.
Because it seems like Skyrim for you is like what The Witcher is for me.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna get into it on that weekend. All right, I'm gonna start this. I'm gonna see how far I can get. I just kind of played a few hours and
now
I don't know. It didn't grab me.
I've never gotten the chance to see any like actual video gameplay, but this game just seems ginormous.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's. When they say you can walk anywhere, that's true.
They really meant it.
Yeah. And they just kind of drop you in there, and that's it.
Do you
ever? I mean, there is obviously a path.
I mean, do you see yourself going back and finishing it somehow?
I don't know about finishing it.
Or trying to get close.
Yeah, I do want to play it. Yeah.
Because I've thought about, especially now that they have the remaster. The remaster, right?
Yeah, for PS4.
Yeah, I thought about it, but I'm like, I'll be honest. I'm a little intimidated by that game.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. I mean, it can be intimidating because it's just such a massive game that you almost like don't know where to start.
See, and that's my thing. I don't want to play a game, right, where I have to question myself as like, all right, what do I do now? Where do I go? Who do I talk to? What is happening? I mean, you know?
I mean, the game does, I'll say this, it does lead you in a certain direction.
Right.
But after that point, it cuts you off. It cuts off, and then you can just, all right.
You're on your own?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, there was obviously you can end up anywhere, and like your experience will be different from my experience. And I guess that's what's cool about that's the coolest thing for me.
Yeah, obviously you can play the game the way you feel like you want to play it.
Right. You just walk in one direction and that's it.
Right.
That's same coworker. He said, yeah, just walk in a certain direction and we'll see what happens. And then another game I've started is Sleeping Dogs.
Oh my god, such a good game. Such a good game. I think it's
And you finished it.
I finished it. It's such an underrated game. As well, an underrated open world game.
It's, in general, it's an underrated game.
It definitely is an underrated game. I like the setting. The combat was just, I mean, come on, you could beat somebody in a phone booth. Who the hell doesn't want to do that?
That's a really good point.
You know?
I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean, again, I got a few hours into the game. I don't know. It's just another game that felt so massive.
Not as massive as it appears to be. It does feel massive, but it's kind of scaled down a little bit to where.
I think there's a lot in that map.
Yeah, there's a lot because the open world itself, compared to games now, it's not that big. You know, compared to like a Just Cause 3 or an Assassin's Creed Origins, the map is relatively small, but it's just the amount of stuff that you can do within that map.
Right.
That makes it.
And the combat was cool.
Oh yeah, because I read. Now I don't know if this is true or not, but there were people who left Rocksteady. Then again, these are just rumors. I don't know if it's true or not.
Yeah.
That left to work on this game, and that's why the combat was similar as far as the whole Arkham style fight mechanics, which it does work very well. Yeah. Especially in a Hong Kong, police story type of way.
Yeah, the combat was the best part of that game.
I think, yeah,
that game is a game I most likely will come back to.
And I actually thought about buying it again on PS4 because it was just, for me, it was a very, very underrated game. Dude, you could use one person and beat another person with that person.
How can you not? What can go wrong with that?
You could use a car trunk, a car door, a telephone booth, a garage door. The list alone is like, why am I not playing this game right now? Now I'm gonna want to play that game. One of the games that I'm just gonna throw the dart to. Like, all right, I'm gonna focus on this game and this game alone.
Well, that game I definitely want to come back to.
You know what?
Because everybody I mentioned it to says it's good.
It is.
I did play it. I didn't get that far into it.
Right.
But I did play it, and I can see why people say it's so underrated.
It had good car combat. I mean, it was weird because you're driving on the opposite side of the road, but then again, in those games, the road is exactly.
Yeah.
But just for the fact that you could do stunts and jump from car to car, and it was just so outrageous, and it was just awesome. And now,
I bought it that's one of the games I bought real cheap, like $4 or something.
Oh,
and wasn't it free too? I might be wrong about that.
No, you're right. It was free towards the late cycle of the PS3. I believe. But like you said, $4.99, $3.99, $5.99. How can you not?
And it was like the Game of the Year edition or whatever it's called.
Yeah, so you get
I got everything.
Oh, you got everything. Okay, but
and again, I will come back to it.
I'm thinking now that once we're done with the podcast, I'm literally gonna go and just start writing games on lists and just start throwing darts. Because I feel like I really need to tackle this backlog before it gets out of hand.
We should come back next week and see where you ended up with that.
You know what? That is that's a good idea. We'll revisit and I'll figure out. See, but the thing that sucks is now,
Oh, now I got it.
Oh man, see, this is the
now it's a job. Now it's a job.
See, now it's a job. Now it's like, all right, now I have to finish this. Starts becoming stressful, and that's the one thing we don't want. We don't want stress in our games.
Well, I mean, it belongs in certain games. I'll put it to you that way.
Oh,
I don't mind it in certain games.
I mean, I really don't want it to turn to like it feels like a job.
I know.
because then it's just not fun.
Oh, that's true. I'm not gonna argue with that.
Yeah, I want to stay. I want to stay away from that.
The less stress, the better.
But the thing is, our backlog is just going to continue to grow. Like August for me, Fire Pro Wrestling is coming out.
I forgot
In about
about
a
that.
week.
I always forget about that game.
It's coming out in what, the next 2 weeks, I would say. Then, in another week and a half after that game, Spider-Man comes out, which looks absolutely
good,
amazing.
But
No pun intended. You
I
know.
know.
But what is it? What are your doubts?
Maybe it's just me. I'm not a big Spider-Man guy to begin with. That is literally my personal.
But
Don't hate.
don't say that out loud, because
I know.
there will be people who will fight you to the death. I'm just saying, just keep that to yourself.
I should have. Yeah, you're right. I made a mistake.
You know, but I'm not a huge Spider. You know, my superhero is Captain America. I'm
Yeah.
still waiting for them to make a good Captain America game.
You'll be waiting a long time.
Yeah, a long time. So you know what? I'll take Spider-Man, or even Punisher too. I'm waiting for a good Punisher game. You know,
Yeah, remember that one for PS2?
which one was the one that was like super violent? You know which one I'm talking about.
It was PS2.
Was it the PS2?
Yeah, where you could literally like kill, like you could put guys in like certain you know what I'm talking about.
Every interrogation was just torture.
Yeah.
I don't even know why they called it interrogation if you were just torturing everybody.
And you just kill them. Like there's no. Why would you not kill them anyway?
And
I don't remember exactly the mechanic, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. And then after Spider-Man, what comes out after Spider-Man? Obviously, Red Dead Redemption. And I'm thinking.
No, I know. Go ahead.
I'm thinking there's another game. I'm missing one game. I feel like I'm missing a game.
No, I think you're good. Oh, Fallout.
Oh, that's right, Fallout. Oh my God, another game that is just, I'm gonna get it, and I'm just not gonna touch it. I'm not gonna touch it. I can already see it. It's gonna be a great game, but I'm just not gonna touch it.
Yeah.
I'm looking.
I mean, there's a lot of games. Too many games that.
I'm looking as I'm talking to you. I'm looking at my list right now, and I'm thinking to myself, what are the odds? I'm looking at each game. What are the odds of me actually going back and actually finishing any of these games? Look at your list and ask yourself that question.
I didn't even go through all of them. But
And
yeah, you're
just
right.
you have to sit there and you have to be 100% honest with yourself. What are the odds of me finishing Mad Max, Mafia 3, Deus Ex, Darksiders 2? You know, we have to pretty much go through a tremendous dry spell in order for us to, to get back to these games.
I think maybe like you should at least. I have a friend that does this. He will go through his backlog. He just picks one game and then just goes right through it.
You know what? I think that's a good idea. I'm gonna print out names. I'm gonna put it on a wall.
And like, there's no other game. He'll just laser focus on that one game.
I think that's the best course of action to take. Because I'll be honest, it does get stressful at times. It does. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to be 100%. It gets very stressful. I don't know why. And then,
I think it's your anxiety.
yeah, you're probably right. It's probably has something to do with my anxiety.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm not the same way. I'm just saying, it's probably anxiety.
But then, with me, especially me with my anxiety, right? Amongst other things, I'm at that point where I'm looking for those games to de-stress me.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about?
We always need one or two games to calm us down, to bring us down to just to unwind.
Because there's only so many, like, I feel like the first person shooters, like,
No way.
Like oh my God, there's just so much going on. There's just too much going on, and I think we all, like you said, we all need that one game to just sit back and just play. And for me, right now, that game is No Man's Sky. That's the game that
Now let me ask you a question, because they added multiplayer, right?
Yes, they did. And I played it.
Have you experienced that yet?
Yes, I've played it with Gabriel. Gabriel got the game. I think his girlfriend bought him the game, and we actually played it co-op.
Now, co-op.
No, full co-op, like fully
Okay,
co-op.
okay.
I'm sorry. I'm
Is there
sorry. I'm
any?
getting ahead of myself. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, no, no. Is there any like competitive or just co-op?
See, it's a very touchy subject because you can make it competitive. You really
Okay, but
could.
it's not. Okay,
But it's not that the game wasn't designed that way. But if you
okay,
find a group of people and you give everybody your coordinates, you could very well start like some shit in a galaxy. Like I'm no lie.
and that's but it's not intended that
That
way.
it's not intended that way, but you know there's going to be a small group of people like what happened in what was it, Eve,
Yeah,
over the
you
weekend.
mentioned it. Right. But
That
again, that's different though. That's
yeah,
intended for that.
yeah, but
What I'm trying to get at is maybe competitive multiplayer adds to the stress.
no, of course, competitive multiplayer. Just the word competitive.
Yeah.
Just the word competitive, I start to sweat. I start to break out in hives. You
Some people
know,
like that. Some people
no,
enjoy
because
that.
right now we're at that stage where everything is the competitive market. You have your Dota 2s and your League of Legends. You have now
Overwatch.
Dragon Ball Fighter Z is now an Evo. Overwatch, the Overwatch League. You know very well about the Overwatch League.
Yeah.
You know, when you're playing ranked matches and you lose a match, what happens? You go down in rank.
Mm. Yeah, that's
That
not.
stresses you the hell out.
Yeah, I mean, I love Overwatch, but
You know,
if I want to de-stress, that's not the game
so
to
I
play.
look through my backlog, right? And I'm thinking, what game can I play that could just de-stress me? And I'm looking. Not that many can really distress me. And the only one that I'm playing right now is No Man's Sky. Is the one that de-stresses me because the game is designed for you just to explore, to be by yourself for long periods of time if you really want to. And sometimes that's just what I look for. You know, yeah, it's great that you can play co-op and you have that ability. And don't get me wrong, them adding co-op was the best thing they could have ever done for that game. It
Okay.
works so well. But right now, I don't know, maybe because of my anxiety, maybe because of my age, maybe because I'm at a different stage in my life. I can give you another list, but it's just I'm looking for those games that can de-stress me. I know Spider-Man's going to be one of those games where even though it's story driven. There's a lot of combat, but you know you're looking for those single player games, and that's why I think single player games are not going to die. You know, what game that you have, whether it be on your list or one game that you want to play that de-stresses you?
I have two. I have a game called Downwell.
Okay, I've seen you play that game, and I remember you specifically telling me that pretty much the title of the game says it all. You're going down a well.
Yeah, that's it.
I think more games need to have titles like that.
And it's just they're a little competitive because there's a high score and you're trying to get a high score.
Right.
Um, but it's not nothing competitive about it. I also play a lot of pinball,
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with pinball.
and I buy the tables, and if I just need just to chill, I'll play some pinball.
Now, now that you say pinball, right? Would you prefer the actual pinball table or the virtual pinball is good enough for you?
The virtual. I suck at the actual
No,
pinball.
and the reason why I'm asking is because I went to a place called the Game Vault, which is
Hmm.
located in Parsippany, which is an old like they brought it back like the old school arcade.
Yeah,
And we'll talk about this in another episode, but I just wanted to sort of bring up the topic of the old school pinball machines,
yeah.
right? I was there for about 2 hours. For about an hour and 15 minutes, all I did was play pinball.
I suck at the real pinball, so that would not be me.
And we're
I
talking about
I, I, I require the virtual.
we're talking about pinball classics like Lethal Weapon. There was the one old school like Marvel Iron Man. There was my favorite, and I don't know why this one's my favorite pinball. Adam's Family.
A lot of people say that, so I don't think you're in the
But
minority in that.
it's funny that you say pinball as far as de-stressing you, right? Like I said, I was there for 2 hours. I was playing pinball for an hour and 15 minutes. dude, no lie, there could have been a fire that erupted in that building. I wouldn't have known. I was
Even
just
that.
I was laser focused, and it just it's a game.
Did they have Terminator?
Oh, they had everything, man. Like
Okay,
if
okay.
I went through a list of what they had, but it's just I went to the pinball games and I'm like, you know what? Let me start a game. I
What
play.
games did they have like normal, like regular arcade?
Oh, they had all the old school pinball machines. They had Tron. They had and I played this game for at least 20 minutes. Michael Jackson's Moonwalker.
That's a bit of an arcade.
Yeah, they made an arcade version.
I never knew that.
They had obviously you had the classics Double Dragon.
Yeah,
You
of
had
course they have that.
Final Fight. You know,
Did they have WrestleFest?
they had WrestleFest.
Every place like that has WrestleFest.
You know, and you look through all these games and it's like, wow, these games like they really distress you. I don't know if it was the way it was designed or the way it was made. It just the games weren't as stressful as the ones now. I feel like there's just so much going on. Flashing
Yeah.
lights, your HUD is filled to the brim.
I think I've shown you the UI for Overwatch, and it's
No, but you know what?
and there's so much going on that you have no idea.
I have no problem for some strange reason with the Overwatch UI. I have no problem with it.
No, obviously, I don't either, but sometimes it does look so busy that you can't even see the actual game screen.
You know what? Yeah, you're right. I would have to agree with you on that. I would definitely agree with you on that. It for me it doesn't it
No, again, I play all the time, so it doesn't bother me. But
yeah, to you it's just something that's there. It really doesn't.
then when I look back, sometimes when I see a screenshot or something, it's like, oh crap.
I'm trying to think of another game a game that I don't have that just seems like it would just be mellow. You know, because
I mean,
like
Journey.
well yeah, of course. Oh, Journey. I sometimes I go there because it's just the art style. I love the art style. There's no dialogue,
Yeah.
right?
I
It's
mean, that's a
just a
good game to kind of
quiet.
calm.
Yeah, your game that'll calm you down. I had the game on the tip of my tongue, but I completely forgot. See, this is what happens when you go through your backlog. You
Yeah.
get stressed out, and then you just
Have you
completely
ever played Flower?
no. And that you know what? That was the game. That was the game that I was thinking about.
Are you sure?
Yeah, no. I've never played it, but I remember it was very colorful and it had a lot of. It looked like Journey, right? Oh, another game, Abzu,
Oh yeah.
which is pretty much just
That's another game where I started and never finished.
it's the underwater equivalent of Journey.
That didn't I don't know. It just didn't do it for me.
It didn't do it for you. Oh, don't get me wrong. Like, I felt like it was missing something, but I appreciate it.
It looks good.
It looks
It does
very
look-
good. It looks
Yeah.
very, very, very good. Just the fact you're swimming everywhere and you see a whole bunch of vibrant fish. Those type of games, it's like, all right, the visuals, the motion, it brings me down. It calms me down. You know, not all that stuff that's out there now. And I hate to sound like an old person because I feel like that's what I really sound like. You know, but I think more indie developers need to start tackling. mm, it's- They need to start tackling mental health. I think.
I mean, like in the game or like a part, like something like
Like-
on the side.
I'm surprised you didn't add Hellblade to your list,
Oh yeah.
which is a game that tackles mental health. But that game does have combat and all that stuff, and you know, so I haven't had a chance to play it, but I do want to play it. I think that these sort of games, right? There's a specific term that they're using now to call these type of games. The indie AAA games, I think is what they're calling it now.
Hmm.
Where
What would you put in that category?
well, obviously Hellblade is one of them,
Okay.
right? But I think that's the only game that I can think of that will qualify for an indie AAA. You know, where it has the production value of a AAA game, but it's made by an indie developer. Because
Hellblade is in there.
yeah, and
I
it-
wish I could think of something else. But I
it
can't.
just seems like a game that I could pretty much get lost in. I mean, how far did you get in that game?
I haven't even started it.
Oh, are you for real? I thought you started it.
No, bro. I started the. I went to the. I booted the game up.
And that's where it ended.
I stared at the screen.
Oh, dude, really?
It sucks. I know. Uh,
So what?
Alien Isolation. I did the same thing.
No, but look, Alien Isolation looks like a game that would just raise my
No,
anxiety.
of
It won't
course.
calm my anxiety,
No, it put it through the roof.
you know.
No, but
And
that's the same thing I did.
I was
I stared at the screen for like 5 minutes.
I was reading somewhere that that game had two AIs
It's
operating
true?
the xenomorph.
Alien? Are you serious?
Yeah, that's what I read. That it was two AIs, one controlling the xenomorph itself, and another one controlling the brain or something. I forgot exactly how they described it, but um,
Wow.
because one of the AIs, right? Now, this is from what I read, and I could probably be describing it
Okay.
wrong. One of the AIs knew exactly where you were at all times. No matter where you hid, the AI knew you were there. And
Hmm.
then the other AI was the one that both AIs were trying to communicate with one another, telling one AI telling the other, you need to go there or you need to go there.
I never heard that.
You know, and oh man, I really wish that I would have. I forgot who reported. I think probably Polygon or something like that. That the game it was designed with two AIs in mind. I'm like, that's crazy. I guess because there were some points where you were hiding under a table or in a locker, and I was watching some of the feed on YouTube and stuff like that, and the xenomorph somehow would always go in the direction of where you were.
Hmm. And that's interesting.
Like
I mean, again, I never heard that,
it
but
always knew where you were, but it couldn't really pinpoint exactly where you were.
until you maybe did like a noise or something.
Exactly, until you did something. You know,
Then that's good. That's outside the box thinking,
you know
in my opinion.
that to me is like a game that would just raise my anxiety.
Yeah, no,
You know,
that's not the game. That's not the game for you.
and I'm looking at each game: Witcher, Warframe, Until Dawn. They're all
What
games.
is that game that you're the little character and the level moves around you?
Oh, Fez.
Yeah, that, yeah. Thank you. I like that game,
Oh no,
but
that game was a very good puzzle game. Very very good puzzle game.
puzzle games to me are also good to release to us.
No, you're right. Yeah.
I think
See,
so
but
anyway.
now that you said puzzle games, for some strange reason, like if I were to play a game like Tetris, that would stress me the hell out.
Not I see why it would, but I don't know. For me, I don't know.
I think it's because the music gets faster.
It's true.
You know, the more the blocks start piling up, the faster the music gets. So it just starts to build and build and build.
That reminds me of Sonic when you're in the water.
Oh my god! And the timer starts, but the timer is the music, and there's no bubbles in sight.
Sorry to sidetrack. But
No. It's all right. We're talking about the backlogs and it and I'm looking Metal Gear Survive, Mafia 3, Mad Max.
I could play a game like I have a game on my cell phone, Marvel Puzzle. I forget what it's a three jewel match game,
Right.
like Bejeweled. And just to chill, I'll play a couple matches and I'll be done.
Ever since they discontinued Puzzle Fighter, and I wrote an article about it on levelbasedgaming.com. I'm so upset that they got rid of that game because that was another game. That was another chill game. I love Puzzle Fighter. I still have it on my Xbox 360, and I'll still play it from every now and again.
Yeah, it sucks that they.
And it just
I don't know why they would.
they just and I'm gritting my teeth because they just cannot get it right. They came close, and then they just abandoned it. 7 months later, they just abandoned it. And it was such yeah, games as a service is always gonna suck in my opinion, but Capcom, or as they call them, Crapcom, they just proved that it's not gonna work. And it sucks because it used the license very well. They managed to convert it onto mobile platforming, and it worked phenomenally. And it just sucks that July 31st was the day that it just stopped working. You know?
It sucks that they can't get that right. Like, you would think something so simple like that.
And I was actually thinking about picking up Puzzle Dragons for the 3DS because that's another similar type of puzzle style game. You know, puzzle fighter type of game. Because I feel like, you know, we need more puzzle games. Because like you said, they do de-stress you. Some people may stress, but I feel like a good puzzle game would de-stress me.
And that's true. I mean, for me, I mean, I play like a Bejeweled or something. For me, Tetris is I get in the zone almost.
Tetris is tried and true. There's a new Tetris coming out, right?
I think so.
I completely
Didn't they
forgot.
show that E3?
Wow, I'm trying to think what the name of that Tetris game was, or the new one, what it's going to be, because it looks like the visuals alone look trippy as hell.
I mean, but it's I saw the commercial, like the trailer. I mean, it looked good.
There was this one puzzle game. Well, it's not not a puzzle game, but a brain game that was on the 3DS, not the 3DS, the Nintendo DS when the DS first came out. Before they made the venture onto 3D. I forgot what the hell the name of that game was, but it was such a good a brain game. It had puzzles and it had all this stuff. Oh, Big Brain Academy. That's what it was called.
For what system?
For the Nintendo DS. But when the
Okay.
DS first came out, we're talking about
Oh,
Generation 1
yeah.
DS.
I remember those games.
And I remember just...
No, but those were very stressful.
You think? I remember
Yeah.
playing those games for hours. They had like word search and... Well, no, wait. It did involve math. And I hated math. Well, I still hate math to this day. And yes, the math portions would stress me the hell out. And unfortunately, now we come to the part of the episode where we gotta wrap it up. Gotta bring it home. You know, we gotta go, and we have to go tackle our backlog.
Right.
So as always, you know, if you guys have any ideas for any shows, any topics, drop us a line. You could find us on www.levelbasedgaming.com.
Subscribe to our YouTube. Follow us on Twitter and on Podbean as well.
And once again, thank you guys so much for tuning into the show. We really do appreciate it. My name is Felipe Parada. The other guy is Oscar Portillo.
And we're out.